Greetings everyone and welcome back to another episode, if you will, of the Bavsound video installation guide series. Today we're in a brand new 2012 F30 3 Series sedan. Let's get started. As usual, BMW has done a very good job aesthetically of designing this panel. It's only held on by two screws, one here, again behind this panel, just like on all the older cars. You can see a distinct seam that runs along here. So as usual, this guy pops out, which will then reveal the two screws, and then we'll use a combination of our hands and our panel removal tool that we have in our toolkit here. So we're going to use this to get started. Again, I always like to start on the bottom, just because if you make a mistake down here, it's not as catastrophic. Make a little scratch or something like that, it's okay. Nobody's going to know. I'm not going to tell anybody. And then we just take our hands and we just work it out like so. And you can see we've got a tab up here and a tab down here. The way I found this works best is if you pry the bottom free, this one's got a lot more give than this top one. That's going to reveal a couple of Torx T25s. They've actually stepped it up a size. So we'll take out of our Bavsound toolkit, we'll get our female driver, we'll pull out the bit with the Torx. We'll grab our T25 and we will extract these two screws. Again, it's pretty straightforward. Not too dissimilar from the previous generation car. So for those of you that had the E90, E92 versions, you could probably do this install without watching the video. Let's see, these are my eyeballs under my finger. Now, unlike all of the other cars, we do need to pop out this window trim piece here. And again, to do that, you want to be very conscientious. It's not too difficult, and you'll see how it works. It's pretty tight in there. Start on the side, maybe get your finger under there, and then work your way around the back, like so. And then the whole piece kind of pops out. And so you can see a couple little tabs on the back, and then there's little, actually what I should have done was I should have shown you from the front. So you actually want to lift up and then forward like so, because you've got the two plastic tabs here on the back side, and we don't want to break those. And this little piece just unplugs like so. The door's ready to come off at this point. So now, to get the door panel off, I like to start up on this edge, and you can actually see there's a pretty nice gap here in the door, and you can even see where BMW wrapped the panel in the leather. I'm going to color that for this guy so you don't see that anymore. That's pretty cheesy. So I like to start up here with my plastic panel removal tool, and I get that first pop free, and then I like to use my fingers all the way around. Boy, this one is really tight. Just come down here and take a firm grip and pull out like so. See, the whole panel's loose now. So this is where, interesting, it usually stays on the door. There's all kinds of stuff going on right here. It's just as well you guys see this. This usually stays on the door, as you can see. The panel usually just pops right off, and this remains in the door. We will correct that and show you how to fix that in a minute. But for the time being, let's get everything else apart. So we've got our lights we need to unplug. We've got our LEDs along the door we need to unplug. Got our window here. And just like before, the old door lock, just like this. You can actually see how it works. It goes in, down, up, and out. And so that frees up the panel itself. And now we can actually take the door off, which reveals our mid-range speaker. And again, this is how we're going to access our tweeter. So actually, just as well you guys are seeing this, why don't we, this, like I said, this always stays on. I don't know what the heck happened there. So what we'll do is put the panel down, because if this happens to you guys, you'll know what to do. Oh, that's right, one of them did fly off. So I will hunt for that now. There it is. There it is. Again, so we'll put this guy. It only goes on one way. Pretty specific way. So, that being said, boy, this is actually out of there quite, there we go. And so then the door panel just comes out like so. So, very easy to fix. If it happens to you, we just wanted to show you guys how it works. And now, this is a little bit different than it's been in the past. You can see now the plugs are on the outside of the speaker as opposed to the back side of the speaker. That's a completely new design for BMW. The speakers are held in with a T20, so we'll grab our T20 from our Torx case here and go ahead and remove this speaker. You can see all this metal. We're going to put sound deadening all around there. What that does is it controls the resonance of the metal, and it makes the speaker perform as if it were mounted in a much more dense material, i.e. wood, like a home speaker. That's kind of the goal here. So we'll get this guy out of there. Take this little super sad little speaker out. Isn't it cute? And then we'll unplug. This is actually coming from the factory amplifier. This runs right up to the tweeter. So it's a pretty straightforward process there. So with the speaker out, you can now see where we're going to mount our new mid-range, and this is again where we're going to do our sound deadening, and we'll go over that. But we're already in here. Let's go ahead and talk about the tweeter. It's super straightforward. You can see you don't even need any tools. You just take it, the whole housing, and it just pops right off. And you can see how the tweeter is in this little housing back here. You guys can see that pretty well? So we can just use our fingers actually to get this out. You can see the tweeter pops right out. We've got the factory tweeter and our tweeter. This is clearly. Now, notice this beautiful polished aluminum ring. You see that through the grill when you close the door. So this perfect circle matches with the circles around the dials, the gauges there in your console. Aesthetically, it's just stunning. As you can see, it's going to snap right back in just like the factory tweeter did. Well, you know how to do it. It really does. There we go. So it snaps right back in just like the factory tweeter. So we'll take this, the wire, we want to make sure we've got it good and out of the way. And we'll take our foam backing here, which is very specific how it wants to go in here. It's actually really tight. Ah, that's it. Okay. So you get your tweeter all the way back in, your foam in, and then here, you guys see there's a ridge that it wants to hook in, like so. Like that. And then we've got everything going right back up in this little housing like so. And you can see the door panel functions to hold all this back on. It's a little tight right now. This is the first one I've really played with. So that being said, you can now see again how beautiful the tweeter is, and this will allow us now. We've got to make a connection with our crossover harnesses and stuff. So we'll go over that in just a moment once we cover the mid-range installation. But that's effectively how the tweeter install works. Super straightforward. So let's pause it here. We're going to bring the speakers over, cover the sound deadening, and then move on. So we're back here at the door panel. Got our tweeter again installed. We've got our new upgraded Bavsound mid-range, little factory mid-range. You can see, again, actually your ears will tell you. You don't really even need to look at it. Your ears will tell you. So what we're going to do first, like we'd mentioned, was we're going to do a little bit of sound deadening on here. So we want to cover up all this metal area, especially where the speaker mounts, because we want to cut down on that resonant property of the metal there. We want to make it much more dense by adding a little bit of weight. And so what I kind of did was I just eyeballed a little bit. There's no precision here, believe me. So this is the sound deadening kit you can order. We send you a lot more, and I'll show you what to do with it. But first thing is we want to get this area covered. So I kind of eyeballed this a little bit. So what we'll do is we'll take the backing off of it, like so. It's real sticky. And then you just kind of, literally, you just stick it to the door, like so. You don't want to cover up this hole. That's where the screw goes in for the, we're covering up the holes for the speaker because, and I'll show you how to find that there in just a minute, because we want to make sure that we've got everything nice and dead, especially the mounting points of the speaker. So there's a trick to this. Now, keep in mind the edges of this are kind of sharp because this is aluminum covering this. Now I've got a roller tool. A lot of you guys will have this around the house from, you know, painting and stuff like that. You can even use the back of your screwdriver that we sent you. So the key here, and again, we're going to have to cut this hole out, as you can see, like so. So we're going to take a razor blade and we'll cut that. But first we want to make sure this is nice and adhered all the way around. So you can see how I'm using this round edge. And now you can hear the difference, and the speaker will perform accordingly. Now, as far as your mounting holes, just take like your little straight pick, or again, you can use the same tool we were using before, and just kind of identify where they are, because we're going to have to obviously mount the speaker to these. So those are the 3 holes, like so. Here's our new mid-range. Here's the factory mid-range. So you can see this has got a little piece of foam around it. Ours doesn't. That's because it isn't a separate part of your order. We ship the custom foam rings. I've actually got one prepped already. So you can see the ring. Here's our ring. So there's the actual completed upgraded driver. And so the way you'll do that, it comes shipped like this. You just pop out the middle piece. Unfortunately, this is the way they have to design it. We hate wasting all this material, but it is unfortunately what it is. So please try and use this for something. You can, you know, it's a nice piece of padding. There's any number of applications. Maybe stick it on your child's face, play frisbee with the neighborhood stray dogs, something like that. But at any rate, so then you'll just take off the adhesive, stick it down on the new speaker like so, and be done with it. Now, also, you'll see on our speaker, comes with a little foam ring already on the front of the mid-range. We're going to pop that off because what we're actually going to do is put it behind the speaker now when we put the speaker back in. So you also noticed on the factory mid-range the plugs are on the front side. Ours are on the back side, and so we've made the leads plenty long enough. We bring them up right here. So it's a very straightforward process. We just take our plastic panel removal tool, we pry out, there's just a little kind of this rubbery gummy stuff back here, like so. And you can see we have it right there. And now we have access for our wires. And so again, the way that's going to be done, we take our wire harnesses, we put our foam ring on the back of the speaker, we take the speaker plugs, bring them around right here, like so, pull them through. And again, as you see, this has only taken a few minutes, so none of this is complicated at all. We get our ring settled, we line up our mid-range like so, grab our screws, start them with our fingers just to keep everything safe. You don't want to, at this point you're pretty excited because you're like, holy crap, I just put in brand new awesome speakers in my new car, and you want to get it done so you can listen, and then you poke a hole in the speaker. I've done it myself 100 times, so I wouldn't be mad at you if you did it, but I'll know you did it. So you don't test me. I'm just kidding. Okie doke. So we get the speaker in, we get it screwed down. But I am really struggling with this. It is late in the day, a little hot here in Los Angeles. I'm a little embarrassed, truth be told, that I'm having so much trouble screwing in these things. Don't tell anyone, please. So then, screw it down, like so. Don't go too snug, just get everything snug, snug, snug. Look at that, perfection. Now, we take our ring, peel back that. Look at that. It's perfection, if you ask me. Okay, so now we take our wires, we pull them tight so we don't have anything flopping around back there, and then you just put that right back down the way it was. Plug in the blue to the blue, and then our tweeter, once we replace the tweeter up here, again, we'll actually, might as well show you this while we're in here. So of course each tweeter we use our tweeter harness in line with it, so what we'll do is we'll plug this in here, like so. And then the tweeter has a female or a male connector coming down that'll plug into this. And then what we do, we sent you guys a little wire tie just to keep everything nice and clean back here. So, as you can see, everything will effectively be tied just like this. And again, with our upgraded tweeter plugged in right here, take a little set of wire clippers if you're super anal about things, and voila, it's all done. So the new tweeter, new mid-range, everything's plugged in. So let's get everything put back together. We've got our our LED lighting here. We've got our window control here. So we'll get that put back through. I'm gonna goof that up. Plug in our light there. Let's see, we put this guy, little clip goes there. Get everything out of the way of the speaker. Plug our light in down here. Put this guy back in where he belongs. And lastly, our door handle. Now the trick here, you see how the door handle open and closes. Make sure it's closed when we attach this. So we, again, like we showed you before, down, lock. And I've gone ahead and popped the grill out just because I want you guys to see something here. But so now we just fish the male lock up through there. And there's a very specific way I like to do this. I align the top first, I always have, and I snap the top into place. And then I come around and you kind of lift up a little bit. You'll feel the pin settle. Use the palm of your hand. Perfection. And now we can see again, here is our new Bavsound speaker sitting proudly behind the grill. The grill actually snaps out from the inside. Now, something I probably should have mentioned before we did this. We want to confirm the window operation before we go and put everything obviously all back together. So let's just plug in our window before we go too much further. Everything is wonderful with the window, so I just wanted to show you guys that. Yeah, everything is perfect with the window. So we want to confirm that before you, of course, put the windows back up, or before you put everything back together. So now that we have confirmed that, we can go ahead, again, the back ledge down, snap it in like so. So we're good there. And then this little guy, which I recall being tricky from playing with it not long ago. You go in there like so. You go in there. Perfect. Okay. So then you just want to basically line all of these guys up, which I am close to doing. I am doing, but we need to. Perfect. So again, this is just putting a square and a square and a circle and a circle. Just line that up. Look at that. Stage one is complete in the front doors. So what we're gonna do next, go to the rear doors, which actually come off identically to the front doors. All right guys, so we've just got our door panel off of the 3 Series. And I wanted to show you up here, this is a HiFi car. So if your car is the Harman Kardon vehicle, you've got a little bracket up here, and you can see the cutout actually here in the door. That's where the second tweeter would be. So there's a nice little bracket here that's all molded and beautiful. The tweeter, however, So anyway, we basically just snap the tweeter out of the housing, the factory tweeter. It's a very straightforward process. You can just remove it with your hands or your panel removal tool. And then our new upgraded tweeter just snaps right into the housing. It's actually going to sit up more like that. So that's what we really wanted to show you guys. And then from there, of course, we'll have our capacitor harness, which again, so effectively what we'll do is we'll take our upgraded tweeter, plug in our capacitor harness, snap the tweeter in, and then with the wire that we bring out from behind from the mid-range, we'll plug into the tweeter here. So you'll have a secondary tweeter wire for your Harman Kardon car, we won't use it. We're using this wire. It'll connect directly to our mid-range, so we get a nice, smooth rear sound stage. So just wanted to go over that with you real quick. So let's kind of pause it. We're going to get here to the mid-range and go over just bringing the wires out. Now that we have our tweeters addressed, the mid-range is exactly like the front door. The routing's a little different, so I thought I'd go ahead and show you. So again, we just pop the driver out. It's not super exciting. So as always, answer an email. You're probably at the office. Answer an email and go get a cup of coffee. All right, pop the mid-range out, unplug it like so. And just like the front door, we'll take our plastic panel removal tool. And you can see, man, I gotta take this watch off. Okay, so just like that, we've got the same foam down here. So we want to bring out our wires. We're actually going to bring them out right down here. So the wires are going to come out right here on the bottom. So we take our panel removal tool again and just get some of this gummy stuff off. Because all we're doing is creating a little pathway for the speaker wires to come up into the car. We take our upgraded driver. We've already done the foam rings just like we did in the front door. So if you didn't see that, watch the front door video so you have clarification with that. We don't want any confusion. Although then again, it's not super confusing to begin with. Confusing at all. So again, we just snake the wires back around like so. Bring them up. Try not to get too much schmutz on them. There we go. So. And just like the other one, well, of course, I forgot to do it because we're filming, and it makes sense. Our foam ring, just like in the front door, I forgot it, but we'll just show you for the sake of showing you. The front ring goes on again, put the speaker in, we pull these wires up tight, we push the door right back down, get everything nice and airtight, and then bam, blue to blue, and then our tweeter plugs into the tweeter, and we're done. So I'm going to kind of pause it right here. Actually, you know what I have done? I have gone, and actually it's all perfect like so. So again, it mounts just like that. I hope you guys caught that. It was my little dog heading to see her mother. Mount the speaker back to the door and wrap the panel back up. So I just wanted to go over the routing with you of the wires. So actually, you know what? Just for good measure, we might as well show you how to get everything snugged up. And again, we sent you an extra wire tie. Again, to get this nice and snug. So we want to clean up all of our wiring back here, make sure it's perfect. I'll just show you like this. Might not put that third screw in just in the interest of time. So again, blue to blue, like so, and then our tweeter is going to plug in right here. So with the tweeter plugged in, everything is like that. We take our wire ties, we'll just get everything on this main harness right here, tie it together, and we'll wrap up that mid-range, the rear mid-range and tweeter install. Alas, we are here in the rear deck of our F10. This could also be an F30. Quite frankly, it's the same. We just pop this grill out, and much like the center channel, 6 or 5 bolts, a couple screws out, a couple speakers out, a couple new ones in. So again, we want to start on this front edge, plastic panel removal tool, no metal back here, guys and gals. So we come down around like so. Come around. You guys see this? Come around, and then we lift up. Use our fingers here, and you can see once this grill is up, we then lift it towards us. And this is some fabric that you'll find in there. Sometimes the glue stays adhered. Most of the time it'll fall out just because of the heat, the exposure. That's the 5 o'clock express you're hearing. All right, so we've got the grill out. As you can see, we've already got the Bavsound Stage 1 in the car. But just like the front center channel, again, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Torx T20s that we need to remove. Pull the speakers out. There's really no sense in showing you guys this again. Out with the old and with the new. So the important thing to note here is that we've got these little tabs, and they hook in. They don't hook, but they kind of slide in like so. And then we just uniform, firm pressure, snap back down, and we're done. And we do the same thing on both sides. All right, guys, so here we are in the center channel area of our F30. Let's tackle this. It's very straightforward. You can see I've I've taken our plastic panel removal tool and I've pried this out. I only like to do it once, but it's actually kind of cool. You can see how it comes out now. I start, let's see, I like to start all this stuff up on this front edge, and then I just pry down, and then I use my fingers to lift it out finally. And that reveals the center channel. And if you have the Harman Kardon, there's going to be a tweeter there. And then, of course, our mid-range will replace that mid-range. So let's show you how to do this. So we've popped this out carefully. Again, if it's freezing cold outside, use a hairdryer and very carefully warm it up. Don't melt anything, but just stand back here. And if you don't know how to do it, or you're like me and you're bald and you haven't used a hairdryer in 15 years, ask one of your buddies that still has some glorious mane to come over and help you out with it. So again, this is in our toolkit. You definitely want to pick this up when you order this kit from us. This is our right angle driver combined with the Torx T20 bit. So all we'll do is we're just going to break these free, and then this is a really cool tool. You can use it in 100 different applications. So we'll get these out of there. It's a good thing there's a 3/4 inch long screw holding this speaker in. Otherwise, so we're actually going to ship you a spacer, because this is a very, very, very shallow speaker and an even more shallow cavern that it resides in. So what we're going to do is send you guys a spacer ring that has to go between the speaker and its mounting point. And again, like I said, this is a beta car, so I'm going to be using a couple of little spacers here. But in the interim, we'll ship that to you guys. And there's a couple of other little tricks we'll get to here in a moment. So again, this is like watching paint dry. All right. You don't want to drop these screws down the dashboard, believe me. So be cautious with that now. So we'll just pull this little guy out. As we've got to pull off this rubber boot. So you can use this now as a beer mug koozie thing. I think that's what we call them in the South. I don't know what they call them where you live. And so the challenge here is, and it's really difficult to do this sitting down. I'm showing you guys how to do this. When we ship you the rings, it's going to be very straightforward, because you're just going to drop it in, and like so, you're just going to go, just drop it in and plug it in and be on your way. But you can see, as you can see, it's pretty, darn tight in there. So we're going to use these 1/4 inch rings to get that back down in there. And you can see it's still even a really tight fit even then. So that sits like so. And so our mid-range is going to reside just like that. And then what we will do is our tweeter, you can't really see it, but the tweeter goes right there. Oh, let's see, I can't see. There we go. The tweeter goes like there. So what we actually end up doing is you've got to route the wires for the tweeter over down into here. And in order to do that, there's a little gap right here. You can see this perfect little gap. So that's where the wires for the tweeter will go. So we'll go ahead, get our tweeter lined up like so. You can see it lines up perfectly. And then we just tuck this down in there like so. And then we plug in our tweeter. We plug in our mid-range. Like so. And then we cross our fingers. I'm just kidding. And then we drop our mid-range down in here. And again, when you get yours, there's going to be a nice custom cut ring that goes with all this. It makes sure everything sits down nice and flush. So that pretty much wraps up the install. I'm going to have to spend a little time finagling these adapters in place. So now we can pretty much sit back and enjoy our stage 1 in our F30. So thanks again. Talk to you soon.